All right, fam, it's 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. We're on episode 2 at this point. And for those of you that don't know, 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples. One is from one country, one is from the US usually. And they have to go through different relationship struggles just like anyone else. But on top of that, they have cultural barriers, they have language boundaries. They also have issues with the legal system as they try to navigate and find out and figure out how they can legally marry. And for some, get their visa. It is 90 Day Fiance. So let's get into these couples as we are into this spinoff before the 90 days. So let's go to Tiger Lily and Agnon. Tiger Lily's in her 40s. Agnon's only in his early 20s. They fell in love. They met online. Tiger Lily, she had a big divorce, but she was with someone that had lots of money, so she has a big bank. Agnon, he supposedly doesn't know that information. So he is of Muslim background, and I don't know if she is supposed to be converting, but I think that that's where it's supposed to lead. But he said, he's having his bachelor party because they've only known each other for 4 months, but they're going to get married like right soon as she comes to this country. His bachelor party is his guys, him and his friends, all men. They're dancing around. They dance and have fun. It looks like a bathhouse scenario. They wash him. To me, it's like something that's very different from what a bachelor party is for the US. These men all together and the men are washing you, and it just seems very different. But that is the scenario. He cannot be alone with a woman or whatnot until he's married. He's still a virgin. He said he can't wait to be with his wife. And sex will be halal with God. So halal means accepted by God. So everything will be halal after he marries her. Then they can have the freedom that they want. And he tells her a little bit about the way she should be dressing and she should be covered. But I don't think she knows all of the information. I feel like he's leaving some things out. He says, I told her, about the lifestyle here as a Muslim woman. And she's accepted that, but I don't think he's fully told her in detail. And there may be some language barrier issues as well, where maybe he has not articulated the full details. But when she actually gets there, he hugs her, gives her a kiss on the head, and even that he's not really supposed to do, but he did that. He said he couldn't help himself. He really loves her, and he's in love, right? It wasn't inappropriate. It was nice hugs and kiss on the head, but it was still against, his belief system. But he just, like he said, couldn't help himself. And, she asked, how's my outfit? And he looks at it and said, we're going to change it. We're going to fix it. She's like, well, what's wrong with it? He said, don't worry, we're going to fix it. And he kind of looks up at her. Well, not at her. He looks up at the camera, looks up at us like he's got a secret or something. Like, I'm thinking like, Agnon, did you purposely not tell her how she's going to have to drastically change her life to be with you? So I kind of have an issue with Agnon. Tiger Lily is being foolish. She's in her 40s. She should be a little bit smarter, a lot smarter about, making these rush decisions. But, her friends are with her. After they have this moment in the airport, it's quiet in the car. The friends are in the back, and maybe they feel uncomfortable talking in front of the friends, but they said, it should have been more talking. One of her friends was asking questions about how many kids he wants. He said 5. She's like, baby, I didn't know you wanted 5 kids. So it's like important questions that these guys have not even covered or talked about, but they're about to get married in a few hours. So it's really not making any type of sense. And it seems like Agnon has a secret. I don't know. I feel like he should be more upfront and forthright with her. I've seen other couples where the male is Muslim and, they tell the woman to come and they kind of like, in a way, kind of piecemeal tell them things and not fully divulge everything. So by the time they get here, they have to make this drastic change. And, they say, well, you have to really want to. And they kind of say you can take your time, but you really can't take that much time. I just think it's very deceptive to kind of have these American women come over to your country and you're not being completely forthright with them, letting them know what a drastic change is going to be. And seeing that he's young, I give him a little bit of a pass, but not fully, because I feel like he knows it very well, that he's not giving her all of the information. He's kind of giving her a pass for some of her things, like as far as the way she's dressed. She had a male friend come with her. That's not supposed to be, not she's not supposed to really even have male friends. He's kind of giving her a pass on these things and not really telling her. But after they get married, all the bomb will be dropped on her. Then she finds out that, she thinks it's going to be the two of them getting married in this ceremony. But, finds out that he invited his mom, his brothers. This is a big deal for him, definitely, but he did not divulge this information to her. So now she has to meet his family, and she had no idea that she had to also meet his family. So I feel like it's a lot of deception going on with this couple at this time. And when he finds out how much money she has, yowza. Not sure how that's going to play out. I wonder if he's done his research and he knows stuff. I'm really unsure, but we'll see how this plays out. It looks dangerous. It seems creepy. They're going at night. I'm like, it's like, it's not like a romantic secret wedding. It's like a creepy, sweet secret wedding to me. I'm just not feeling the vibes. They don't know each other well enough. And he's very secretive. It doesn't feel good. And even her friend says so. Some of her friends say the same thing. So we'll see what's going to happen. She's at this point getting the willies, and she's even unsure if she wants to do this. I'm very unsure for her as well. Well, when it comes to Lauren and Faith, so basically it's the couples meeting their partners for the first time. This is that episode. So we got through Tiger, Lily, and Agnon. Now with Faith and Lauren. Lauren is a gynosexual, and I'm not going to really fully re-explain it, but he's with Faith, who is considered a lady boy. And that's a person that, because Faith is from the Philippines, they cannot transition to be a full, they can't transition fully. So they can't get all the surgery and whatnot that you will be able to get in the US. So basically you have to pass as just wearing the clothes and the makeup and all of that to look feminine. So that's something that I didn't know. So there is a group of people called Lady Boys, and it's a society they have there, but they're not allowed to do any surgeries. That's their belief system there in the Philippines. But Faith still would like to do the top area of themselves as far as getting surgery, and also may want to move to the US. And the friends are asking about Lauren, in this situation. And far as Faith knows, there's a belief that, hey, he's got his stuff together. He has multiple jobs, and they're not sure all the things he does as far as where he gets the bulk of his money. But Faith works in housekeeping, is one of the lead people that organizes the housekeepers, I believe, in a hotel. Also is able to live there. Is very artsy as well. I think is a puppeteer, does puppeteer work, magic, and all of this. It's kind of fun. Lauren, I feel, is kind of artsy as well, but more like, Lauren seems like he tries a lot of different things, but he does work with drag queens and helps them get ready. So as far as artistic, in a way, I think that could be artistic on some level. Faith wants to take things slow, never had a boyfriend, never really felt love because of their situation of being considered a lady boy in the society, and feels fear that maybe Lauren may not be everything that they say they are, and they may not really love them. But they finally meet, they hug, and I think Lauren kind of wants to plan a kiss, but Faith is like, I'm going to take my time, not going to just do my first kiss after meeting you for the first time. Faith is really taking things slow when it comes to this. And Lauren seems like they want to move faster. But that's the scenario between those two. Faith really feels good that they're being accepted as themselves by Lauren as they hug each other and embrace each other and show that they care about each other publicly, because it's not really accepted in that society. So we'll see what happens with Faith and Lauren. Let's go to Brian and Ingrid. Now, they're about to meet, and Ingrid pretty much is talking to a friend, basically saying, my dad doesn't know, my mom does know. And we kind of get a little bit background on her as far as she was divorced. I think she has a 12-year-old, and then during the COVID time, she had another baby with someone that abandoned her. So she was being a single mom, and it was very difficult for her. And, then she meets Brian, and for some reason she says that he's 45. They've only been together for 2 years, and we know him being 51. So I'm not sure where the number 45 comes from. Maybe that'll come out later on. But, also Brian lets us know he's left her in the dark. Brian is in a wheelchair. She knows that information, but he's left her in the dark as far as how he got in the wheelchair. There's some other things that she doesn't really know. But seeing his picture, she online, she found him to be attractive. But he did let her know again that he's in a wheelchair, but also that he can do anything and everything, and that doesn't slow him down. That doesn't stop him. He's very confident and positive. So I think that's what attracts her to him. In some ways, he comes off a bit cocky, I believe. He's that guy that has to, be the man's man and always has to be on top of things. He has that vibe, and I think that's good in a way, and that's positive for him to have that mindset, because I think that's what drives him and makes him so capable of doing so many things, maybe more things than even the average person. So kudos to him on that. But I do feel like on some level he acts as if he's Superman, but in a way he shouldn't oversell himself. So they have a very passionate reunion as they meet up into the airport. She changes into a sexy outfit, and when she hugs him, she sits on his lap. So it looks like, even from the previews, that something may happen that night. We'll see what's gonna happen. He does talk about his abilities in the bedroom, and there are some limitations, but he uses a pill to assist him. I guess we're gonna see what happens in that scenario. But let's go now to Chitty and Renee. So they finally meet up at the airport. Chitty is with his brother-in-law, and I'm sorry, her name is Renee. She walks right past him. So I guess he thought that she would recognize him, but she walks right past him. So Chitty's brother-in-law has to go get her and say, he's right back there. So when she actually touches his face and head, he's like hugging all over her and everything. They're kissing. It's like kind of a really passionate meeting here for the first time. And Chitty is blind, of course, so he's not able to see her. And Renee, she's a little bit different. She's a little bit off the beaten path. She's a little bit scary. And even in some of the previews that are coming up, she seems scary, and she just seems like I don't know what she's going to do next. So he was nervous the fact that he was going to have to tell her, because of his faith, he's decided that they can't have relations that night. They can't sleep in the same room. But before that, even meeting his sister, where she lives with his sister and brother-in-law, and she says, she just has a feeling that she's not going to get along with her. She says that she was even jealous when they would help him because she was there to help him. That was very odd to me. When she comes into the house, the sister's really hugging and loving on her and just happy to meet her, and I guess kind of really welcoming her in, but she's kind of a little standoffish, which she wasn't that way, of course, hugging her man. But she says she just has a feeling. She's always had some feeling that she wouldn't get along with the sister of whoever she was with, and it comes from out of nowhere. So I don't know if she has some type of paranoia. I don't know, but his sister was really showing her a lot of love, and she was kind of standoffish. So Chitty was nervous to tell her at the time, "Hey, we're not going to be sleeping in the same room," and she's like, he basically breaks the news to her. And saying this isn't the right time, but he doesn't tell her exactly because of his faith. So I guess she's thinking, well, maybe it'll be later, will be a better time. She feels rejected because he doesn't want to sleep with her night one. It's been 5 years, and I get the fact it's been 5 years, but you never met this person. And it just surprises me how people want to sleep together. I know it's been years, and maybe she's been waiting and saving herself, but and she doesn't have the Christian beliefs that he has, so that's an issue for her. She's gonna, in a way, kind of change him up, is what she said. So I don't know. I feel like if my partner wasn't trying to do that at the time, it wouldn't be that serious. But I do have a different mindset. I am a Christian as well. I have a different faith-based mindset when it comes to sex. I'm more on Chitty's side when it comes to this, but I feel like she shouldn't really feel rejected. But when you see men in society and how they want to sleep with a woman so quickly, I don't know how her past was, but how men have treated her sexually. They may have tried to take advantage of her, or she just thought she had to put out. And there is that climate and environment in dating that women especially, feel that they have to do that. And if a man doesn't sleep with you instantly, there's something wrong with you. So I feel that that's a part of her mindset, which is not healthy. And at the airport, when he first, he says he can't wait to touch her, and because he can't see, so he has to feel her to see what her body is like. So he basically said he can't wait to fill her up, which I thought was kind of weird. He didn't say it that way, but that's basically what he was saying. And, as far as he knew, she was supposedly slender. He's very thin himself. But he's saying, you're bigger. And she's like, yeah, we're about the same height. But he's like, no, you're bigger physically, but you feel perfect. Which is, I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but come on, a woman does not want to hear that the way he said it. Maybe, he doesn't have a lot of relationships experience because he became blind at a young age. I don't know, but it's like, you don't really tell a woman that she's big. And looking at her, she looks thin to me. She's not super thin. She looks thin to me, but for him, he's pretty skinny. So his idea of thin may be even smaller. So it's all what your idea of thin is, but it's still, for him to say you're big, he used the wrong terminology. But again, that's the cultural issues and differences and barriers as well, where sometimes we use the wrong language. We don't know what to say. We don't know how the other person will feel about how we are phrasing things or whatnot. So I don't think he intended it to be mean. And he did say that her body was perfect for him. But I think that kind of went in the back of her head. And so it definitely went in my head when he said that. And it was a small reaction, not really big, but we'll see if that comes back up in the future. But she does definitely have body issues. I think she has some major self-esteem issues. So she has a lot going on. And I'm a little afraid for Chitty's family, as she's, it seems like they really love her and are embracing her, and she's kind of on edge. So we'll see what's gonna happen as we continue with Chitty and Renee. So that's it for my assessment of 90 Day. Before the 90 days, the season is just starting. It's just interesting, and it's staying interesting so far. So we'll see how things unfold when it comes to these relationships, possible marriages, hoping that things come out as planned. One thing that I can say about this show, it is a reality show, but it does promote marriage, and people are wanting to get married and have that type of lifestyle. And part of it is out of necessity, part of it is because they can be together in a better way if they are married, because of their different cultural places that they live. There will be limitations, but the marriage will help seal them, will help them be able to live a regular life with each other. So that's kind of part of the motivation. But at the end of the day, they're promoting love, they're promoting marriage, and sometimes through difficulties, to see these people be able to make it happen, it's a beautiful thing. And to me, it kind of gives hope and life to the whole idea of marriage, because a lot of times, especially in this day and time, people aren't really wanting to do it. People don't respect it the way that they did. So to see how big a deal marriage is for these people on this show, and at least for the most part, they're trying to head towards marriage. If they're not married yet, they're in the fiance process. They're in the courting process. Again, this one is before the 90 days. So it's couples trying to get to that point. So we'll see what's happening and what's going to happen. And we root them on. All the best. God bless for those that are trying to go the way that God has ordained when it comes to marriage. So we'll continue to talk about faith, love, and trends, and all these things right here on CBiz Media. This is Irene again. All the best, and God bless. Connect with me. Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com with your thoughts, comments, questions, and talk to you next time.